Last year, the POCO F6 Pro managed to somewhat surprisingly compete against the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This year, POCO decided to release an Ultra model of the POCO F7, and we will see if it does an even better job against the best iPhone, the 16 Pro Max. Starting with the ultra-wide, we have two highly different looking shots here. The iPhone is seriously closer to reality, with the POCO oversaturating the colors in comparison. Quality-wise, they aren't far off though. Exactly the same can be said when using the main lens. Using the 2x zoom, the colors are still in Apple's favor, but the quality is slightly better from the POCO, to be honest. At 2.5x, this gets even more obvious, but this is also expected since it is where the POCO uses its telephoto lens. However, at 5x, you might expect the iPhone to get a clear win with its telephoto lens, but the POCO holds up really well here. At 10x, it starts to struggle a bit more, and the 16 Pro Max has the cleaner shot. 25x is the maximum the iPhone is willing to zoom, and neither shot is really better than the other. This area is less colorful than the previous one since it's a depressing place void of any happy colors. Absolutely normal for a school. The POCO is slightly ahead in quality, and when we switch to the main lens, we can see how the colors are getting more vibrant on the F7 Ultra. We will zoom to the top of the crane, and the 2x shot from the iPhone clearly falls behind. This gets even worse when we use POCO's telephoto lens. The 16 Pro Max can't really impress with its telephoto lens again, with the brighter shot from the POCO also capturing more details. At 10x, we have the same dilemma on the iPhone, with the 25x shots not being far from each other. But we need to keep in mind that the iPhone uses its 5x telephoto lens here to zoom in digitally, while the POCO uses its 2.5x telephoto lens for this. The iPhone's ultrawide is again more accurate when it comes to colors, but it once more lacks details. The POCO is getting significantly brighter with its main lens, and the 2x shot disappoints here as well from the 16 Pro Max. Obviously, it also has no chance against the POCO's telephoto lens at 2.5x. It's quite upsetting that the iPhone isn't really better with its own telephoto lens. At best, these shots are on par, with the colors being the only thing in favor of the iPhone. The 10x is a bit overprocessed from the POCO, looking more natural from the 16 Pro Max. At 25x, there's again no winner visible. Let's go a step further to the F7 Ultra's maximum zoom at 60x, giving us a good enough look at that trash can art. The iPhone's ultrawide lens disappoints here, and keep in mind that this is the one lens Apple actually upgraded with this new model. The POCO is a bit brighter here and gets quite a bit more vivid with the main lens. At 2x, we get a grainy shot from Apple's flagship, and of course, the difference in quality between the 2.5x shots is again really big. The iPhone standing out with a 5x is something we don't see here happening again. The shot is even a bit noisier from the 16 Pro Max, which gets worse on the subsequent shots. One more look at the F7 Ultra's maximum zoom, and that's not a great shot by any means. Let's zoom in on the board in the distance and find out how well they will let you read smaller text from the distance. Both get a lot more vibrant when switching to the main lens. At 2x, the POCO is still better, and the telephoto lens gives it a huge advantage when it comes to reading the text. At 5x and with the iPhone's telephoto lens, both are more or less equally good at it. While I prefer the iPhone at 10x, the POCO is still doing a good enough job to let you read everything here with ease. We get good shots at 25x, with the POCO apparently smoothing things a bit more with AI. We will once more get in closer, and we can see that the POCO is doing a satisfying job here yet again. Time for portraits with the rear cameras, and the F7 Ultra remains the more vibrant of the two phones. The bokeh is by default stronger on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, but this is something that we can adjust anyway. I feel my face looks a tiny bit more natural on the iPhone. The 16 Pro Max's 2x versus the POCO at 60mm, which is its telephoto lens, gives us a clear win for the F7 Ultra. The picture is more detailed and the cutout is also superior. The final option for the POCO is 75mm, and we will use the 16 Pro Max with its telephoto against it here. We can see the much stronger bokeh at default levels from it here again, but as I said before, this is adjustable, as you can see right now. The image quality is seriously good from both, much closer than when we compared the POCO's telephoto lens to Apple's 2x shot. Selfies are a totally different story now, with the iPhone having more vibrant but also authentic colors. Both have the option of a wider or closer selfie. Activating the portrait mode with the front-facing camera, I have to say that both are seriously doing a good job, where it is hard to put one over the other. I'm now using the front-facing camera, shooting in 4K, 30 frames per second on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, 1080p 30 frames per second on the POCO F7 Ultra. You can see that the iPhone has quite a bit more on the screen, so the field of view is bigger, which I always like for vlogging. Extend my arm a bit. See how much more we have here. The colors also pop a bit more on the iPhone. Just turn around here a bit. I'm now shooting in 4K with 60 frames per second, and if we shoot in 4K with 60 frames per second, we can't use the other lenses. On the POCO we can zoom in digitally up to 6x. That's all done with the main lens. On the iPhone we can go to the ultra wide or to the 5x tele lens, and the POCO doesn't offer anything like that. So if we want to be able to zoom in 4K, we have to go to 30 frames per second, which we will do now. So now I'm shooting in 4K with 30 frames per second, and we can now use also the tele lens, and we can go up to 15x, which is nice, but we can't go to the tele lens, to the ultra wide lens. So on the iPhone we of course still have all the options with a maximum zoom of 15, but on the POCO we can't go to the ultra wide lens. This will just work while shooting in 1080p. So let's one time do this. And now we're shooting 1080p, 30 frames per second, and now we can use all the lenses on the POCO. And the maximum zoom is still 15, but we can now use the ultra wide lens also. So no ultra wide in 4K on the video mode. So during the day, the POCO has shown that it really is competitive. But how does it perform at night? The first ultra wide shot here is really poor from it. The iPhone is clearly doing a better job. The main lens does a way better job here, and while it handles the light board better, the iPhone is more detailed overall. The ad board remains a weakness for the 16 Pro Max at 2x and 2.5x, where the POCO is also now on par with the iPhone in general quality. At 5x, the iPhone still can't capture the board properly, but it handles the surroundings still very well, whereas the F7 Ultra has big issues here finding a balance and exposing everything properly. Here the differences aren't that apparent, but the 16 Pro Max is still slightly ahead. The main lens shots are even closer, with the POCO having slightly more vivid colors. While the POCO won the 2x shots throughout the day, this one goes to the iPhone. The 2.5x telephoto lens remains a trusty lens for the POCO, but unlike during the day, it can't keep up with the Apple's 5x telephoto lens yet again, even more so at 10x. Both struggle in front of the steeped Hams chain. Both have issues with all the lights in the scene, the iPhone surprisingly a bit more, as seen on the text. When we look at the full image, it is also visible that the POCO exposes the scene better. Both main lens shots give us improved visuals, but it is still the POCO that handles the lights better. At 2x, the iPhone slowly closes the gap. The telephoto lens of the F7 Ultra gains some ground on the iPhone again, even letting us read some of the stuff on the menu, which the 16 Pro Max manages to do at 5x too. While the previous area was better lit, this one now again has limited light available, and the POCO has a harder time coping with it. While it gets way better with the main lens, the sky is still too dark in my eyes from the F7 Ultra. Both have had issues with the light here until now, and now at 2x the iPhone struggles way more, while the POCO is getting better step by step. It's also here where at 5x we finally can see that something is written here, but in general the iPhone has the better quality. Last shot before we move over to the portraits, and the F7 Ultra's ultrawide is struggling yet again. Apple's main lens also stays ahead. Both handle the scene the same way with the 2x shots, with the POCO capturing a bit more light, the same at 2.5x. The iPhone can't make up ground with its telephoto lens here, unfortunately. We get the slightly better portrait from the iPhone with the main lens, but using the 2x lens creates a bad looking shot, with the iPhone struggling really badly with keeping me separated from the background. And if you thought that was bad, welcome to the 5x shot. Disabling the portrait mode at least brings back the part of my head the phone blurred out for some reason, but the shot is simply horrible regardless. Unfortunately, the POCO struggled a lot with selfies here at night, while the iPhone did a really good job. And yes, the lens was clean. Using the portrait mode didn't change it, but also the iPhone is far from good here. Time for night videos shooting 4K 30 frames per second using the rear cameras. And just as a day we can't use the ultrawide lens, obviously, while shooting in 4K on the POCO, but we can do so on the iPhone. Go back to the main lens. The picture on the POCO looks a little bit brighter here, honestly. The colors are a bit warmer on the iPhone, but seriously also more authentic. Seem to replicate the real colors quite well here on the iPhone, while the picture is generally in a too cold tone on the POCO F7 Ultra. So I flip around, and now I'm here, and this is how you would look like if you use the rear cameras for vlogging at night, shooting in 4K with 30 frames per second. So this clearly goes to the iPhone. The image stabilization is miles better, and the picture quality too. On top of that, the POCO is really struggling with the lights. And now the same area, 4K 30 frames per second with front facing cameras. And on the iPhone I really can't make out myself that well, while I can see my silhouette on the POCO, but also not that much more details. But I can see in the background that the picture is a bit brighter. Now approaching a street post here, lamp post, and I can already see myself pretty well on the POCO, while the iPhone is still lagging behind. See also the background. You can see that it is overblowing the lights on the POCO, while on the iPhone you can make out the fast food chain. Let's walk a bit more. And the iPhone is not getting that bright, not as bright as the POCO here, even with all the light now coming from up here. Now I'm shooting in 4K with 60 frames per second using the rear cameras. Well, it's one time try to zoom at night. And the ultrawide on the iPhone, go to 1x, go to 2x, and go to 5x. And the digital zoom is going up to 15x. You can see it is going very smoothly, transitioning on the lenses. Also no big color shifting or anything going on here. Now we'll do the same on the POCO. We can zoom in digitally like this, but with 60 frames per second we can't do anything else. That's why we'll stop the record. Now we're on 1080p with 60 frames per second. Let's go ultra wide, 1x, 2x, 2.5 and 5x, and we can go to 15x. So if you want to have the ability to zoom and want to use 60 frames per second as well, you can do it just in 1080p. No other option available. The POCO F7 Ultra does a really good job. If we look at the photos during the day, it rarely falls behind the iPhone in image quality, and even when the 16 Pro Max uses its 5x telephoto lens. Already at 2x, the POCO mostly has the upper hand, and when we use its telephoto lens at 2.5x, the iPhone can't compete. Photos at night are a different story. With limited light, just the main lens is really usable on the F7 Ultra, with the ultrawide being a big disappointment. The iPhone, on the other hand, can take better shots with its ultrawide and telephoto lens than the POCO, next to the already quite good shots with the main lens. When it comes to videos, the iPhone wins it easily. The POCO also has some limitations, such as no 4K recording with the front camera, or no lens switching while filming in 4K at 60 frames per second. At night, it gets even worse for the POCO, with huge problems with image stabilization. But keep in mind that we are talking about a phone that costs almost half as much as the iPhone 16 Pro Max. What do you make out of this comparison? Leave your thoughts in the comments, leave a like if this video was useful to you, a sub to the channel would be highly appreciated, and I will see you in the next one.